Hey, aloha, motherfathers. Welcome in. Another special episode of the Side Hustle Podcast. That's right, your favorite wrestling podcast, my favorite wrestling podcast, Double A's.
Second favorite wrestling podcast.
He's a big experience guy. Pete doesn't even watch wrestling, but he likes this show because he sticks around, so we appreciate that. And welcome in a special July 4th edition.
July 4th.
Happy birthday, America.
Happy 4th of July.
What are we, like 270-some years old now?
Something like that. And on this very, I have a history fact for you. On this very date, we lost 3 presidents. On this very date, including 2 who died on the same day. John Adams, look it up, John Adams and Thomas Jefferson.
Both died on the 4th.
Both died on July 4th on the same day.
How patriotic.
So
if you're going to go out, go on
Independence Day. John Adams was 90. Thomas Jefferson was 83.
Damn, that was like a long time. That's like early 1800s, right?
Yeah, that's
Late
right.
17, early.
Yeah.
To live to be 90 in those days?
I know, that's impressive.
Those powdered wigs had something in them.
Hey, you got something.
Holy.
Got something, man. We want to talk about healthcare back then. A little difference between...
Medicare was a little bit different.
Yeah, a little bit, between that and that. So, but happy 4th.
Yeah.
Happy 4th.
U.S. Santa for
great day to...
Happy 4th. This is when Santa has a 6-pack. He's going to start eating cookies next week. Vacation's almost over, big boy. Get it done.
You're on the clock, buddy.
It's Cleveland. It's going to snow in like a month anyway.
You are on the clock. We're already past the halfway point. June 25th already passed, so you're on the clock.
Yeah.
And my list is coming. So you better get on it. You better get on it. Like now.
One more time.
Now. Get on it. Santa. Have my cookies ready. I like sugar cookies, by the way.
What are we talking about Santa on July 4th?
You brought it up.
I know.
That's
stupid.
I know.
So dumb.
I know.
Oh my God! It's like AEW programming. It makes no sense. Holy shit.
Boy, we're talking about that lead-in. I'll tell you. Oh.
Big Bang comes on before we do too, which is fantastic. We really appreciate that. Sheldon is just helping us with the ratings so much.
Do we want to study our quarter by quarter hours?
No.
Pull the analytics on YouTube.
Well, if you think about this, besides obviously a sweet moment of the week, which we're going to get to in a minute, courtesy of BA Sweetie, and maybe a couple other clips that are a little bit longer than a minute, we're the full-length podcast, and then we have the short clips and the shorts for you guys. It's kind of like a little double dose, right, of being able to watch a full episode if you have time, and then if you just want to catch some cool clips and laugh a little bit and see some of the stuff, some of the highlights, if you will, we cut those up for you too.
Yes, we do.
And, I mean, both do pretty well, but, like, it's a nice little balance. But, yeah, we can do the quarter-hour thing because we don't have enough content, I don't think, to do that. We don't have 3 wrestling shows during the week, 2 of which don't even barely exist, and 1 that also doesn't barely exist. I mean, it's crazy.
So soon we'll be going weekly on Saturday nights,
We're not afraid of the competition.
No, jeez.
Trust me.
Why not? Why not? Hey, come in Friday night at like 11 o'clock. We'll do that show. We'll dedicate that to the segments that we missed. And then the Saturday show, we'll take like the second biggest story and drag that out for 2 hours. And then really, really deliver and whatnot.
You ever make a show for a guy and he was gone in 2 months?
Woo!
Who's in the background? That's someone colliding in the background. I wonder what's that's all about.
All right, let's get to our sweet moment of the week, brought to you by BA Sweetie. Since it is July 4th, stop by and get some good ice cream, 30 different flavors. And
it was hot today.
And with the heat, I think we need all 30 flavors.
It's going to be upper 80s, close to 90 again, coming up next week, too. We're in the, starting to get towards the second week of July. You guys know, especially Northeast Ohio, when we get into, late July, early August, God, it just gets so hot. I mean, it's the perfect time to use that shake shop.
You know who needs it, right now, and will get BA Sweeties when they come to Cleveland in August, hopefully to be saved, is Paul Heyman. This guy, what happened last Friday, on SmackDown. We're going to start there again, our sweet moment of the week. Paul Heyman had his moment at MSG. Finally, saying, look, I do not acknowledge you, Solo, as my tribal chief. And the crowd was unglued when that moment happened. I couldn't believe it.
He couldn't even finish his sentence. As soon as he said, I will not, and they just blew up. I mean, I honestly never was really sure if Paul was ever going to take a bump again. It's been a while.
I know.
Long time. And this is the thing about making it count. My God.
And we talk about, the details, and when you're really dedicated to your craft, you honor in the details. And Paul Heyman did not sleep. The red eyes was not a...
Grew the beard out?
Yeah, grew the beard out.
Stubble, he looked disheveled. He looked like he missed his meal ticket. He missed the guy that he had been with for the past 4 years.
He looked stressed for the last 3 months.
Yeah.
And, sometimes, when you see, when you have not just a bad day, but a horrific day, and it's written all over your face... With Paul Heyman, that was absolutely true. And, Solo, you just watch Solo here. And look, I'm not going to say I'm indifferent about Solo, but I do sometimes go back and forth over, okay, this is he that dude or not, or anything of that sort. But I will give him credit. He played his role. He did what he needed to do. And look, to the credit of Paul Heyman, Solo has an opportunity to really, really elevate himself. And he played his role well with Paul Heyman and Bloodline 2.0.
Yeah, he got a lot of heat with that. I mean, no one's touched Paul Heyman. It's always been a thing. May I enter? That kind of thing. Cody Rhodes, no, you may not. That kind of stuff. He's been avoiding that contact. I think the only person that's ever really touched him in the past, couple decades have been CM Punk and Brock. Those have been the two guys that have done something to him. So to let this happen shows a lot of trust. And I thought about this more and more, too, with Solo's version of the Bloodline. It's not really the same as Roman's, right?
Yeah.
The cast and characters are different, too. They're supposed to be more dangerous, less calculated, more just brute force.
Yeah.
So his leadership is going to look a little different than Roman's does. It's not going to be super slow, methodical, long promos, taking up, a half hour just talking, that kind of stuff. It's going to be a lot of action. It's going to be a lot of physical nature. It's going to be a lot of just assault, violence, that kind of thing. So he does fit that fairly well because, again, through NXT, his moniker was always the Street Fighter, right? That was his thing. Even in how he dresses in the ring, it looks like he's about to just get out in the middle of the street and start kicking in the head. That's what his thing always was. So I think for this incarnation of what they're trying to do with Bloodline 2.0, new bloodline, new blood, whatever you want to call it, I think it works. But again, you still have some of those people saying, in the back, Jacob Fatu, could he be? And honestly, they're setting that up to where he could be that guy eventually that looks at Solo and says, I could do this better. It's like a constant circle. And then at some point, I'm sure Zilla Fatu is going to come in and maybe do the same. There's so many different avenues they can go with it.
Well, and you can even see, too, the elevation of Paul Heyman because it's obvious Paul Heyman does not fit with Bloodline 2.0.
Well, the physical elevation of Paul, too. They picked his ass up and shield bonded him.
Oh, man. It is clear that he does. But coming from, and this is how well respected Paul Heyman is within the industry, coming from the guy who used to own ECW, where it's all violence in your face all the time, we have learned over the last 20-some years about Paul Heyman that violence has to have a purpose. When he's with Brock Lesnar was only attacking when it came with purpose. CM Punk, same deal, when it only came with purpose. Roman Reigns over the last 4 years, it was with purpose.
Yeah.
All attacks came with reason and purpose, and these last 3 months went exactly against the grain for Paul Heyman, who's been around as a character, who's been around for a long time. So I love it. This makes sense. I do want to tie in this with a little bit. You didn't get a chance to see the documentary that came out on YouTube. I got some thoughts on it because I saw it right before we taped. So I got some thoughts on it on the other side here. But from what we saw with that, kind of tied into what we're seeing right now with Bloodline 2.0, we're in for something epic.
Yeah.
We're in for something very epic.
I mean, after we break and we give BA Sweetie their moment in the sun here, obviously it's their segment, the sweet moment of the week. I kind of want to talk about some scenarios that we're going to see coming off of this now. When do we possibly see Roman come back? Does he even come back this year? There are some people saying he's just going to wait until Royal Rumble. Like, there could be a full thing where they just really play this out because, again, it's been long game, right? They waited over 1,300 days before Roman lost that title. He should have lost it a year earlier, a lot of people thought. They waited another full year.
And a lot of people in the company thought,
Yeah, they kept it going. They were supposed to do Rock and Roman. They were going to build up to that. They switched plans. They built up a whole different story through all of that. Multiple stories, springed off of that. Like, there's a lot of fluidity when it comes to this. So I have a couple scenarios that one I saw, and then obviously one we think that's more likely that we'll talk about here in a few minutes.
Well, I'll tell you what, though. Hopefully Roman, whether he wrestles or not, at SummerSlam, when he comes to Cleveland, I have full confidence that he's going to visit my man right here. And
Slothy.
And
the official mascot of the Side Hustle podcast, courtesy of B.A. Sweetie.
B.A. Sweetie. So hopefully pick up a popcorn ball or two, because this is cinema is all about the popcorn,
and they make it here. Like, it's not like, oh, it's hard. No, it's not like the name brand BS you get at the local store, whatever it is. These guys actually go out and they make it themselves, which is awesome. Love their popcorn. I had the Buffalo Ranch.
Oh, how was it?
And it had a bit of sweetness to it. Like, it was really good.
Oh my goodness!
Like, it almost tasted like I was having dessert, but it's like a snack food.
Yeah.
But the way it just tasted,
I can't wait. I'm gonna go back there tomorrow.
Yeah.
Got the off day with the holiday, so I'm gonna enjoy July 4th today. Going to the Guardians game today. We're both going.
Yeah.
To the Guardians game, and then I'm gonna make a stop at BA Sweetie's tomorrow. Because again, like you mentioned before, the weather's gonna be up there, but. Get some ice cream, get some milkshakes, get that. But definitely enjoy some of the sweets and the snacks.
And just the tradition, too. When you walk in, you just see it all, man. It's almost 75 years in business here in Northeast Ohio. I mean, these guys know how to do it. They've been doing it right for a long time, and you can't miss. I mean, it's honestly, you walk in, and we talked about it, whether it's ice cream, the candy bars, the sodas that are on display, whatever it is, they literally have it all. So just walk in and just kind of let yourself go. Be a kid again. Have yourself enjoy it out there.
And after you enjoy the largest candy store in North America, go right outside, take a little bit of a stroll over to their putt-putt, get your game going. Be the next Tiger Hoods, what I call it.
You can't be Tiger Hood in Parma, but I get what you're saying.
That's why it's on the Cleveland side.
Don't encourage people. It's close enough where sometimes people get flip-flopped. I just want to make sure everyone knows.
There's the address, 6770 Brook Park Road.
Hey, what are we looking for when we look for B.A. Sweetie?
You got to look for the giant lollipop.
Yeah. And I'm still waiting for someone to send us a video of them trying to lick the lollipop that's on Brook Park Road. That would make me just laugh so hard. And again, we would try to get you on the show if you did that. So Tom's like, dude, stop.
Oh, God. 480, the Ridge Road exit. Make a left, Brook Park Road. As Kyle mentioned, if you make that left and you go past the giant lollipops and you see Pearl Road, turn around and go back to the giant lollipop.
Because you went too far. Get out the Atlas and find your ass back because you need to go there. It's awesome.
Hey, by the way, just don't take our word for it. Myself and Kyle, take a look at this video and see how huge this candy store really is. Kyle made a joke last week, but it really is true. You get your steps in. Going to BA Sweetie. I'm not kidding.
It's
you
honestly,
get your steps in.
You want your 10,000.
Yeah.
We can get at least half of them there. I'll tell you that much.
It was crazy. We went there, talked to Tom, our good buddy Tom. He was just walking around and stuff. I was, we met. I was like, "What aisle are you in?" I'm like, "I'm over here at the Kool-Aid gummies. Over there. Get."
You need to stop because I want to go now.
Get the Kool-Aid gummies. They're great. Again, there's the address, 6770 Brook Park Road here in Cleveland. And again, if you're from out of town, you're coming in for SummerSlam, you're coming in for a family visit, you are more than welcome to stop in at BA Sweetie, as Tom mentioned to us. 20% of the clientele are from out of town.
Yeah, over 100 miles away. So we see you guys coming out from all over the place, whether it's in-state from places like Toledo or Columbus, or out-of-state from the Pennsylvanias to the Michigans, to shoot all the way from people in Hawaii that have stopped out, that kind of thing too. I mean, it's one of those bucket list things you have to come check out and do yourself a favor. Like, you're going to enjoy it. You're going to find something there that you either had when you were a kid, or maybe you want your kids to try, or you just see and go, wow, it looks like it may be kind of good, and you're going to want to take it.
Or I was just say, forget about the kids. You could try it yourself.
Yeah, screw the kids.
Try the kids.
What they say? Fuck them kids, man.
No, you have the kids saying, you have the kids like, hey, can I have that? You're like, this is for me. No sharing.
It's like, you could have some.
I'll give you a popcorn.
You could have a piece.
You have a,
I'm going to cut it in half. It's that good.
All right. So, BA Sweeties, again, thank you again. Our official sponsor of the Side Hustle podcast. Now, I wanted to tie in this documentary. It debuted Wednesday night on YouTube. It was behind the curtain. It was supposed to debut the week after WrestleMania, but The Rock had to put his finishing touches.
Whoopsie doopsie, went from 12 minutes to 70.
That 12-minute documentary, I think, clocked in like 65 minutes.
Yeah.
But
The Rock has his production company now, so he has to actually produce shit.
Yeah. Yes, he does. I had an opportunity to see the documentary. You had to be a parent, so you'll still get an opportunity to watch it.
I'll watch that when you watch the Bray Wyatt documentary.
Okay, you got me there.
Sorry, motherfucker.
You got me there. I'm trying. Anywho, a couple of thoughts. First off, I thought the documentary obviously was well done. If you are not a fan of Dwayne Johnson, you probably will not be a fan of this documentary because it is from mostly the viewpoint of The Rock. The Rock takes credit for a lot of things. He took credit as far as he listened to the fans as far as the creative details and stuff.
Still being a heel even when he's breaking kayfabe.
Right. But the overall, they went through the merger. They went through how the matches were set up. There was a little bit of a loophole though that I might have to rewatch though. They said going into the Rumble that the plan at first obviously was Rock Cody, but then the first episode of Raw of this year, Rock came out to this whole I want to sit at the head of the table at the restaurant promo.
It was the send a feeler, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and then from that point, apparently it was all systems go for Rock and Roman for that championship. But Triple H in the editing also mentioned that the plan for Seth's championship was for him to face CM Punk.
Yeah.
But they didn't address that Cody was supposed to also win the Royal Rumble. So if you win the Royal Rumble, you got to face somebody. So they didn't address that. But overall, though, it was a good tell of how they got from that point all the way to WrestleMania. And I want to get your thoughts on this because one of the things that The Rock's mentioned, which is a scenario that if Vince McMahon was in the fold, they would have did this. They had two options. They signed on with Rock and Roman, which would have obviously brought in the outside audience. Would you have rather them do what they have done, which is how everything played out with night 1 and night 2, or them trucking through a Rock Roman main event this past year?
No,
which is what I thought. If Vince was still here, that's probably what would have happened.
I don't know 100% just because he also made the switch with Daniel Bryan. He was in charge when that happened.
Mm-hmm.
So I
That's
think
a fair point.
I think Vince would have enough people in his ear being like, we probably should pivot. Like,
and according to The Rock, when they made the switch to go with what they did, with keeping with Roman and Cody, apparently it was a group phone call with himself, Triple H, Nick Khan, and the head of TKO, Ari Emmanuel.
Yeah.
It was a group conversation with those guys, and The Rock brought up, or apparently it was The Rock's idea to go the route that they did.
Triple H would have eventually.
Yeah.
He was going to have that conversation with him probably at some point.
Yeah.
Like, but he probably, again, The Rock's not stupid.
Uh-huh.
He obviously has a good business sense. He knows what works and what doesn't. I think the other avenue for Vince maybe possibly would have been Seth and Cody for the World Heavyweight title because Punk got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So if Punk never gets hurt, Punk and Seth happens.
Yeah.
Seth probably stays out of that story. I mean, it could have been a triple threat. I think that's maybe Vince's avenue there, and he could have had Cody win it.
Right.
That protects Roman still.
Mm-hmm.
Because Vince wanted to protect Roman. That was a huge thing.
Rock probably would have took the pin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would have. That's when he would have won to Vince and said, hey, I need to take the pin. Cody needs to win it. You can protect Roman.
Mm-hmm.
He can have his chance to come back at some point and fight Cody one-on-one.
Right.
That's another match down the road. That's long-term storytelling. This has been a long thing with those two. Like, we could still all have our moment, that kind of thing. The other avenue was if Punk doesn't get hurt, Seth and Punk, Reigns and Rock, and then Rhodes and Austin.
Mm.
Or Rhodes and CM Punk, or Rhodes and John Cena.
Right.
But they didn't have to get to that point. So
Right. And honestly, that road, I think we've kind of internally, we haven't really thoroughly talked about Mania 41 yet on the show, but that might be in the cards for Mania 41.
I don't know what the fuck they're gonna do.
I don't know. That's so
Because
far.
I don't know if Rhodes and Rock is going to be a thing. Who wins the Rumble then at that point too? They're not going to challenge Cody.
Mm.
I mean, is this the Rumble that Rock wins now? Like what the hell are they gonna? I honestly have no clue.
We have a ton of time to, but you you had a few thoughts about the documentary before
Yeah,
you were able to view it.
I kind of like harken back to CM Punk's statement with Ariel Helwani.
Mm-hmm.
In a business where we let people in so much and we give so much away, I kind of want to tell you to fuck off. Like, I'm not going to tell you anything. Like, this is one of those things where nobody had to know. It's like when Undertaker whispered in Bray Wyatt's ear when they had that moment. Like, he still won't tell that. He said that died with Bray. Like, I'm not... That's something between me and him for the rest of eternity. Some things you could keep, hidden a little bit. It's hard because we live in an age of social media and everything gets leaked and everything gets put out there. And it's hard to genuinely have an actual surprise or an actual thing kept to your imagination. How did this all happen? Like, how did they get from here to here? Like, it'd be cool, and I get it, pay-per-view, whatever, and they're building towards something at SummerSlam, I'd imagine. But still, it crosses over for me a little bit too much.
Is there a way, and I understand that point. I greatly understand that point. I think this is why stuff like this has been avoided for years. Or if it is done, it's done well after, right after the fact. Like Rock, Stone Cold breaking down his main event match with The Rock at Mania 17, 20 years later on the Stone Cold Steve Austin podcast.
Yeah.
Like that's different than him breaking down that match 3 weeks after Mania 17. I do wonder, is there a delicate balance, right? Because when I was sitting there watching this, yeah, it took me back. It took me back to that build for WrestleMania, which was incredible. But at the same time, is it a bit too much? It is. Is it a bit too much to peel it back that much, right? Was too much of the onion peeled back in that situation where they could have been kept away. Again, the other factor too, Kyle, I wonder, this special was supposed to take place right after WrestleMania for a grand total of 10 minutes, and it became an hour-long special. So I wonder if this was just supposed to be a 10-minute bit on YouTube.
They do the behind-the-scenes stuff where they have that, like the up to moments or whatever it is. They've done that periodically. I've seen those YouTube videos.
That's like a WWE 24 thing, right?
WWE 24 is like, no, they're full documentaries.
Yeah.
That's like 20, they follow people or they have like a full thing.
Mm-hmm.
That could be like an hour long. That's kind of like what this is.
Yeah.
But the shorts were like CM Punk coming back for Royal Rumble.
Right.
Like it was like 9 minutes long. And
right.
they just followed his training and getting ready and prepared.
Yeah.
And like,
it would be different if Cody Rhodes, his bus was on fire the week of WrestleMania. So him going behind the scenes doing the media and stuff. This is different. This is actually breaking down they're doing what our job is.
What if they
which is to break down storylines.
I'm giving Triple H free creative advice here. But so like what if they show video, like backstage video of Cody's tour bus getting set on fire by Jacob Fatu? Like could you imagine like the layers and like just we knew this was gonna happen. Solo already saw the cracks in Roman leading up to WrestleMania. He knew that he had to take over because Roman was gonna lose and he was gonna leave. So I started already moving behind the scenes to get my men here because we knew we had to take it back over.
You are on record in saying that you trust Triple H in the long run. Correct?
He doesn't have to do that, by the way. That's crazy advanced. Like
I know.
That's next level crazy.
No, but I'm
booking.
going to follow you here on the track here. You said that you trust Triple H in the long game, right?
Oh yeah, he hasn't given us a reason not to yet.
Let me ask you this then: why was this special? Again, based on what you know about the special and everything, and based on what I've seen. Why was this special put out right now?
Well, for one, they had to do a lot more editing. It wasn't supposed to be this long. So when you add 60-some minutes of content, it takes a minute.
No.
You should know.
No. Think deeper. You're right, but think deeper.
It's part of the reason why.
You're right, but think deeper. Why now?
Well, again, there's probably going to be something that happens at SummerSlam. They're trying to get people invested in this story again because there will be something that happens.
I'm now looking at Cody, all this was about to be taken away from Cody. Bloodline 2.0 is trying to take all this away from Cody again. Bloodline 2.0 wants to shine that, hey, Roman Reigns was supposed to organize all of this, but yet we're the ones actually scratching and clawing right now. We're the ones that's actually causing destruction. We're the ones that's actually doing the damage. We're the next generation. Get these old fuckers out of here. We are the new generation now. Like, this is... Oh, now we got something. We got something cooking. I'm thinking about The Rock's involvement. Obviously, everything starts and stops from this viewpoint with The Rock. What is his next move? Yeah, sure, he likes to entertain the fans and whatnot, but it goes back to what he said to Cody on Raw the night after Mania.
We'll have our moment, that kind of thing, yeah. And it kind of ties into the sweet moment of the week. Remember we said before we went to the BA Sweetie to see their awesome warehouse, like the future for this, right? It ties in because now the new Bloodline has kicked Paul Heyman essentially out.
Mm-hmm.
He's drifting astray.
Yeah.
No longer on the island of relevancy, right? It was according to Solo Sikoa. There's a couple fan theories out there. So the first thing, obviously, is that Roman comes back, right? He comes back at SummerSlam, big moment, big pay-per-view. They're trying to make SummerSlam huge. So they're going to do that. He'll set up a feud with them that could lead to a Survivor Series match with the old Bloodline, which would be Roman, Jimmy, Jay, and then possibly insert new person here, someone that maybe some people have thrown Sammy in there, some people have thrown some of the other Bloodline members that could be coming in. I think Hakulo is the other one from New Japan or whatever his name is.
Could you do a Survivor Series match without Rock? Can
Yes.
Solo be a captain?
Yeah, 100%.
I believe so, too.
You don't need him for that. I don't think Rock is going to show his face again until probably Royal Rumble.
I agree.
I think that's by design. Because he's not really... I don't know if he's going to be too entrenched in this anymore. I'm not saying that he is, but entrenched in the family stuff anymore. I think he wants the title.
Well, Rock's current story is with Cody.
Yeah, it's not with the Bloodline.
Like, that's the current story.
Yeah, that's his come back to moment. He'll probably come back and maybe acknowledge whoever is running it at that point, whether it be Solo or Roman or whoever.
Mm-hmm.
But he'll still, I think it's never going to be about that, at least not yet. I think Rock Roman happens maybe at 42, possibly, if they want to try and stretch it out.
Yeah.
But at this point, unless The Rock comes back and helps out the new Bloodline, there's no real avenue towards Roman and Rock for a while. And that's not a story yet. It could change. It could.
And again, maybe the avenue is you finished your story and the whole dismissal of Roman from The Rock.
Yeah.
After the Raw after Mania.
But the other one that I threw out to you that I thought was interesting, because this involves Paul Heyman. We're not talking about, just a random manager or someone who was just there. He's a Hall of Famer, storied career, and known for having Paul Heyman guys. Maybe the Bloodline, on the old Bloodline side, just can't get back together. There's too much going on. Jimmy's hurt. Jay's doing his own thing on Raw. They can't get him. Who does Roman call to avenge Paul Heyman? There's a couple guys that Paul had that would look pretty good next to Roman Reigns in a Survivor Series match against the new
you
Bloodline.
told me to set this up.
So, obviously Roman would be there. I'm looking for the picture, too, because I sent it to you. And it was so fucking cool.
I should have put it in this, but...
Yeah, how dare you?
But
I can't even, yeah.
Roman would be the captain.
Roman would be the captain.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, fuck it, this team, there's like 4 captains. You would have CM Punk on this team. CM Punk has never went out and disparaged Roman Reigns. He's always applauded him. He said, I think our paths will cross at some point. I don't know when that is. But we're kind of pretty convinced that it's going to be CM Punk and McIntyre at SummerSlam. No title involved. I think that's what we kind of noticed at this point. I don't think Punk's going to let him win Money in the Bank, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But
right.
I mean, I think that's what we're probably going to get. So Punk's probably not going to have the title going into Survivor Series. So there's an avenue there to be able to work with that. The other name...
And Punk has been, as established, Punk with Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns, Punk was untouchable.
Yeah.
Until, with the assumption that, okay, maybe down the line they'll feud, but Punk was untouchable. Because of how much Paul Heyman respected Punk.
Yeah, I found the picture too. So the other person that could fill in the gap here is Brock Lesnar. They've been looking for a way, I would imagine, at some point here to try and get him back in the fold. I have seen some reports that it looks like he's going to get cleared from this issue.
And they've been throwing his name on television. It's not like
they've been saying his name. It's not like he's been like, we can't mention Brock. We can't do it.
Yeah, right.
They didn't pull a Tony Khan. Well, I can't talk about that. It's not going to benefit the company. Like no, they've been, Triple H's been on. He's still with the company. We're just kind of, he's.
We don't have a story for him at the moment, which is actually the case. They do not have the story.
They do now.
Yeah.
Because someone fucked up Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
And he already has issues with the bloodline. Roman can tell him, listen, it's my family, but it's no longer the bloodline. This is for Paul. We got to put our shit aside for one night.
That would be my question, could Brock and Roman... I'll be clear, I do not want to see Brock and Roman feud again.
No, it wouldn't be that.
But I'm just saying, they would have to make that clear, hey, this is just... And Brock and Roman both understand and both have credibility where they will put personal differences aside for business.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess it's personal for on behalf of Paul, but we'll work together for Paul, and that's it.
The question is obviously who'd be the last guy in that 4v4.
Curtis Axel.
I actually had a different idea. No,
Curtis Axel?
I didn't tell you this because I wanted to surprise you.
Curtis Axel Jr.
No. Who was best friends with Curtis Axel in his road at the end of his career?
I don't remember.
Bo Dallas.
Oh Lord.
You put Uncle Howdy in there with those three. At that point, we're assuming that the Wyatts are going to be main stage. Are going to be one of the main attractions.
Stressing me out, man. Those Wyatts.
That foursome right there Roman, Brock, CM Punk, and Bo Dallas. Hopefully Bo Wyatt. I'm still waiting for him to actually say his name. Like, that's... Yeah.
Against Solo, Jacob.
Tama Tonga and Tongaloa. That's fucking star power. If you can't get the Bloodlines, that story to work, if Jimmy's hurt, whatever it is, because I think he is actually hurt. That's why they wrote him off.
Right.
He was eventually, I think, just going to come back and just keep getting his ass kicked. But, like, if he actually is hurt and can't make it back for Survivor Series, this is an avenue you can go. Because, again, these guys are just...
If Bo... I don't know if Bo will be available.
I don't know what his
story.
I don't know what his feud is going to be.
From a storyline standpoint, I don't know if he'll be available. If he's not, I have no problem putting main event Jey Uso in that match on the Paul Heyman team. Because if you, I understand I understand the deep roots thing. There is something there. Going back several pay-per-views ago, I don't remember which one, but it was, Paul Heyman reached out to Jey Uso for help. Jey Uso got up. Jey Uso found life after the Bloodline.
Yeah.
And Paul Heyman, it could be something to the effect of, "Hey, I believe in you, Jay," or something to that effect. And Jey Uso is about family. So if you consider if their family, if this generation of the Samoas and whatnot.
The Bloodline.
Yeah, the Bloodline. I blanked for a second. If, what are they called? If this generation of the Bloodline 1.0, considers Paul Heyman, wise man, to be family, Jey Uso is huge on family.
But see, so is Jimmy. So that's where it's kind of tough.
But
Jimmy would make more sense because he was more tied to Roman still. So.
I understand that, but you don't have to. They don't have to acknowledge that detail at the moment. If you were to go with that. Now, again, to be clear, like I told you when you went over this with me, there's too much money on the table with Bloodline 1.0 versus 2.0 to skip that. But this idea is very compelling.
Again, the problem just is with Bloodline 1.0 is that, again, Sammy, is he the fourth person? Do they bring someone from the outside in? That's someone new again.
And again,
like, it's
how
kind of
can
like,
you...
What do you do?
And again, how can you involve Sammy in it? Oh, well, one quick thing before we move on.
Well, Jay could always make the call.
I understand.
He could be sitting there with Roman and Jimmy and be like, I can call him. And Roman be like, Jay, man, I can't. Like, she's like, you listen, man. He be doing his thing over there. He been doing. Shonda in the back. No, but like he could be like, yeah, he's doing his thing. He's intercontinental.
I had an honorable mention for Sweet Moment of the Week if the Paul Heyman thing didn't happen.
Yeah.
So Monday on Raw, the Wyatts came out again. Are you aware of where Jey Uso was during that period where he came out? When the Wyatts came out.
Well, he was in the ring, then he slid out.
He went underneath the ring.
Did he take a video?
And then, so when they went to break, Jey Uso comes right back from underneath the ring. He was like, "They gone?" So I'm gonna head out. Y'all enjoy Raw. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Yeet! And the music played and man. He doesn't want no parts.
He got the fuck
he
out
wants
of there.
no parts of the Wyatt family.
But he's gonna get targeted at some point.
He wants no parts. He said, "Look, I don't even want the Fireflies again. Like you can take it back. Like, I don't want no parts. Y'all keep messing with Chad Gable. I don't want no parts of the Wyatt."
Oh, brother.
That was pretty cool though. Like, as soon as Nikki Cross came back underneath, they went to commercial and he went back.
Also, the one part about this that it's kind of silly and kind of dumb is the whole laying security out all of a sudden on the announce. They just have two guys just fucking
just laying there,
just like dead on the fucking announce table, like they just got beat up and no one heard a fucking thing. Like it's like, okay, Like, at least make the sounds because we have the announcers' microphones right there. Like, it could be a thing.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Like they did.
One little minor point, too. This is not a shot at Pat McAfee because I love the dude. I think Pat McAfee is in a class of his own of what he adds to the show. But having Corey Graves on spot duty for Raw, he sold the realism of the craziness of Raw right now. He sold the craziness.
I've been here for a half hour. This is the craziest shit I've seen. Like, I was like, yeah.
I've been here 30 minutes. I got all this stuff going on. I got all this nonsense going on. It was like, yeah, man. Last Monday's Raw was very easy to consume the show. It was very easy. But more to come. I will say this. If you listen to this show, you'll probably enjoy this documentary. If you're a faithful listener to our show, you'll probably enjoy the documentary because they're basically doing what we're doing. But understand that this documentary is shot from a viewpoint, let's say cable news will appreciate. With that, we'll move on to this. This Money in the Bank ladder match, the men's. We'll talk about the women's match coming up a little later. But the men's match brought to you by the boys on Amazon Prime Video. Those are the competitors.
Where does it say that?
Right there.
Oh, yeah.
And
what the fuck?
There's also a couple other sponsors there, too.
Yeah, well, Prime's the sponsor of every PLE.
Yeah.
So.
Haven't had an issue with the Prime logo in the middle of the ring. I thought I was going to hate it.
Because it's see-through. Yeah. You still see the ring. It's just a black outline. That's it.
Crazy.
It's not that big a deal.
So, I'm looking at this field. First off, very strong Money in the Bank field on the men's side.
Yeah.
Very strong. And you could make a case that 4 of the 6 guys that's involved in this match, they currently are involved in feuds where the person they're feuding with flat out hates them and could very well cost them the match.
Well, we're expecting a few things to happen in this match, right?
I think was that Andrade? I think he's gonna get the clean victory.
That's funny you said that. So I was talking to our buddy Eli Moon.
Okay.
And he thinks Andrade is gonna win it.
Oh wow.
Because there's so much other shit going on. I think he's half right. I think that's the reason why Drew's not gonna win. That's the reason why Chad's not gonna win. That's why Jay.
I'll let you finish that point in 2 seconds.
Okay, Kanye, tell me what's up.
Is it a problem? Let's say Drew wins. Let's say Drew wins. The CM Punk thing happens. Drew cashes it. Does it destroy the legacy of the Money in the Bank briefcase if Drew wins the match, cashes in on the World Championship later that night, and loses?
I don't think they're gonna do that.
Let's just say I don't think they might do it, but let's say they did it. I am not so up there in terms of, you have to fully protect the legacy of the Money in the Bank briefcase. Like, if they went with that finish in that scenario, I will not be upset at all as long as it's done well. I will not be upset at all about the damaging of the credibility of the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Yeah, I think that the problem with the Money in the Bank now is that the current champions, we're assuming it's probably going to be Seth after Saturday, and then obviously Cody, probably not going to get cashed in on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, whoever beats them is going to be someone that, like, earned it
and
is over as fuck, and they're going to, like, that's the problem with this. So it almost, you're kind of talking me into saying, yeah, it makes sense for Drew to win it and cash it and then have Punk cost them. So that way, one, Punk's not getting involved in the ladder match because he's still got his tricep. You want to make sure he's as healthy as he can be.
Right.
It's a lot easier for him to interfere in a triple threat match than he is to interfere in a fucking 6-way ladder match.
Mm-hmm.
He's not pushing ladders over and all that stuff. He's just tripping McIntyre or showing up or whatever it is.
Right.
But that way, it kind of gets that out of the way. Because the 2 champions after Money in the Bank, whoever they are, and even after SummerSlam, probably not going to get cashed in on. Like it's just probably not going to happen.
But I'm just thinking, I'm like, the Drew McIntyre story is so big right now that it almost fits for him to win this match
And then get his ass and
then to get dealt with.
Yeah.
With the cash. He's going to be so desperate to win back the world championship.
We said it.
He is not going to wait.
No. We said he's going to do it.
Yeah.
And he came out and the best strategy is letting everyone know what you're going to fucking do, huh? He just said it out loud.
Hey,
I'm going to do this.
Hey, it worked for RVD.
Fuck.
2006 it worked.
I have a dark horse pick in all this.
You do. Well, real quick, I cut you off when you was explaining what Eli was mentioning about Andrade winning.
Yeah.
That's your dark horse?
No.
Andrade, what was he saying about that?
He just thinks that he's just going to win.
Okay.
It's just there's so much going on with other people.
Okay.
And all the different issues with Chad and with whatever that he doesn't see. And Jay's obviously the favorite, the front runner, right?
Right.
So they're not going to give it to him. So because that's what they'd love to do to Jay. They'd love to get him right close to the end goal and then just rip it out from under him.
Right.
Because again, the chase, right? It's the Cody Rhodes thing.
It's
but
the chase. It's the chase.
I think the sleeper is the guy who might be him. Mello. Triple H has made a point to want to build some of these newer guys up. Braun's probably going to win the IC title. I think it makes a lot of sense to have Mello elevated too on SmackDown. And him as playing into that persona, right? I pinned Randy Orton to get this opportunity. I'm on a fucking roll, dude. Y'all can't touch me. It's part of his persona that, like I'm on this new hot shot.
It would elevate him.
And he doesn't have to cash it in right away. He can let these major feuds play out past WrestleMania even, and then eventually find and pick his spot. Because Melo's going to be a champion someday. He's going to. It's just going to be he needs time.
Is he ready to be a world champion within the next year?
Yes. If he wins this, that means they believe he is. Because he will win it.
I am not as sold on him yet.
He's my dark horse. I mean,
it
you
could
talked
happen.
me into Drew.
I wouldn't be upset if whoever they go with.
I
would not be upset.
I'd be upset with Andrade because that's not going to happen. I would be upset with LA Knight because he's not there right now. He needs to go after Logan Paul. He said he may get the money in the bank and cash it on Logan Paul. We saw Austin Theory do that bullshit for the U.S. title. Do me a favor. No.
That's
was
the
dumb.
other thing.
That was dumb.
I will say this. Don't let this be we can cash it on any champion on their brand. This is strictly for the world championship.
If Melo was petty as fuck, he'd win and he'd cash in on Trick.
Man,
on NXT.
Listen.
That'd be a dick. I guarantee he'd show up. If he wins it, I guarantee you he's showing the fuck up to fuck with Trick.
You think Melo would do that?
I think he would do it 100%.
Listen.
He would just be a backstage segment. Nothing would come of it. Maybe he on one of Trick's matches, he would be like at ringside. He won't do it.
Wait a minute.
But that'd be funny as shit.
Let me give you this. Melo wins wins the briefcase on Saturday.
Yeah.
NXT has their pay-per-view on Sunday. It's a four-way.
It's a fatal four-way.
It's a fatal four-way.
Bro.
Let's say Trick wins. Complete beatdown by Ethan Page.
Well, by all three of them, they all
by all three. Evans, I don't know, but the other two at least.
Yeah.
Complete beatdown. And then Melo's music hits.
Dude. I'm just saying.
I mean, that look.
Writes itself.
Look. It does write itself.
And that puts NXT on the map.
It does write itself.
Even more.
It's a hot feud heading into the CW era of NXT. Jey Uso's sitting right there.
Huh.
Jey Uso's sitting right there.
You know damn well he's not winning that.
And he is the odds-on favorite.
He's definitely not winning that.
He is the odds-on favorite.
The favorite never wins. That's how it works. Unless your name is Io Sky, you're not going to win it, which she's not going to this year either. But still,
I'll put out my official pick for this. I am going with the Drew McIntyre. I am going with him winning this thing. He will cash in, and Punk will cost him.
I kind of agree. I want Melo to win because I think it's going to be good for elevating. And that was the point of the Money in the Bank, too, was to elevate someone who was kind of in that mid to upper mid card, get them to the next level, have them be world championship material. But the story's there. And again, the champions that are currently champs, that's the only problem with Triple H's booking. It's going to be hard for them to get beat like that. So right. I like your idea, and I think I'd roll with it.
Anybody wins this, though, you got something good. Even Chad Gable, you got something good. coming out of this. All right.
We gonna talk about the girls one too, or are you gonna?
We'll talk about the women's one a little bit later.
Wow, you're just pushing the women to the side. See, this is what I'm talking about. AA is in fact a sexist, and this is just what it is.
You gotta earn your TV time. You don't see.
There no.
See, Pete. When we start our Saturday show, the women will have an hour and 45 minutes to break down the Money in the Bank ladder match.
Oh my God.
We'll give it an hour and 45. See, we don't have. We have a time limit on this show, and
you can just pick a winner. You don't. It doesn't have to take that long.
I have.
Do you even have the graphic for it?
I didn't make a graphic for it.
Yeah, you sexist motherfucker. This guy is.
I did not make a graphic.
Wow. You should be thoroughly and utterly ashamed. Apologize to all women right now. Say you're sorry.
My bad. Sorry.
So genuine.
Let's talk about All Elite Wrestling.
That was fucked up. And we're going to talk about this shit now? I'd so much rather talk about women. Like, most of the time. But even like, I feel like, even this shit, I don't want to talk about this. God.
I didn't put this in the rundown. You did.
I know. But I thought we were going to like do a full Money in the Bank thing.
We'll make it. This part will make. The other AEW topic I'm actually thoroughly interested in. But we'll make this quick. Dynamite's ratings went up, but they still sucked. By the way, I got blasted on our TikTok for my comments about AEW because I said you need compelling, good quality storytelling for their ratings to go up, and a couple of guys on the TikTok
I gotta look now.
was like,
I haven't looked today. I have to look.
oh yeah, look at it. The couple of guys on our TikTok was like, bad take, awful take.
Oh wow, yes. There's a couple comments already.
Look, yeah, man. And I'm like, I'm sorry that I'm not gonna apologize. That's what the viewers are saying. That's not what I'm saying. And the big part of it, we'll get to it when we talk about Forbidden Door. But I'll just say this. I'll say this. I think if you watch the show.
Sorry, just reading.
No, go ahead.
I was just reading these. You're funny.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you're. Also, my clip of Tony Khan's picture is fantastic. Just the wherever that fucking thing is.
Well, you. Oh yeah. he put like the loser somewhere in there.
I put the L in there too. Yeah, I have that saved.
So I'll say this:
it's really easy when you suck every week.
If you watch the show because of Swerve Strickland, Will Ospreay, and MJF, and Danielson, I'll give you those four names. If you just watch the show strictly because of those four guys, I think those four guys are same based on their match quality, strictly based on their match quality, and in the case of MJF, promo ability, they're putting the show on their back as far as carrying the show. But the problem, obviously, and as we address every week coming off of a pay-per-view, there's a difference between the pay-per-view audience and week-to-week TV audience. Major difference. Again, what happened? Strickland and Ospreay, amazing main event at the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Amazing main event.
I'm sure it was. Who cares?
You know, so
Look,
I mean,
it's why they had the Big Bang Theory last week. They had it again this week. That's why their numbers shot back up, because their Q1 on their breakdown, the first 15 minutes of their ratings was like 850,000 people because of the Big Bang Theory. After that, they were steadily in the sixes.
Like,
so
it dropped immediately.
This is still the second worst rating they've had, and in the key demo ever, beyond 2 weeks ago. This is what I'm talking about. You're going like this, and again, people jump on us like, oh, you even know? Like I told you last week, the guy about the TV rating thing. It's across the board.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
They're not selling tickets to events. Yes, they block out some seats. Most people do, but WWE's selling 16,000, 17,000 seats, and they block out a few, whatever it is. But they had to like make more room in some of these venues, and that's for a Raw, not for a fucking pay-per-view. for a regular Monday Night Raw, not a live event, Raw.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was.
wonder.
You're selling 2,500 tickets for these shows. It's a glorified indie show that has TV money.
I wonder.
That's what it is.
I wonder if it would be in their best interest. No, not to shut down. I wonder if it would be in their best interest.
Get a new fucking booker. Put Tony Khan in a dungeon somewhere. Lock his ass up. Please. And give him no access to the outside world. He deserves
Dungeon of Doom.
25 to 30 years of solitary confinement. So we can. I want like one little ring camera in there so I can watch him go fucking insane. Because he's already halfway there. Let's push him over the edge. Let's do it.
I wonder if, just as a shot of the arm, right? Obviously they have All Out in London.
That's their WrestleMania.
I wonder if just to provide some electricity for Dynamite, do a few shows internationally. Do a few shows, and it's going to cost money, but it's clear that they're willing to spend money. Do a few shows internationally, at least at that point, generate some money.
They'll be fine.
Pack in.
He doesn't care.
Pack in full arenas.
He doesn't need money. Tony, this is not about making money for Tony Khan, right? When this TV deal comes out with Time Warner, which it will, with
they're
with
in
TNT,
the red zone according to reports.
They're going to get a TV deal.
They're in the red zone
because again, even though their ratings have plummeted from when they started to where they are now, and they continue to trend down, they're still a top 6 or 7 show on Wednesday nights. So they're still going to get some sort of offer from them. Is it going to be what they really want? No. Is Tony going to bitch about it? No, because he's still going to be on TV for another few more years. But he's on thin ice. He really is, whether he wants to believe it or not. There's a reason why they're not telling us if they're profitable or not. It's a reason.
16% in total viewers in 1 year. That is alarming. That is alarming.
And then you get the fucking Dave Meltzers and all that stuff. Well, they're down right now. They're gonna be okay though. You know what, Dave? You're right. Because Tony Khan is funding his vanity project, and he doesn't care if he loses money because he makes money from all the other businesses that his dad actually runs. So this is fine. This is totally fine, right? He can lose money with AEW, or break even, or barely make a profit, barely, and to stay afloat and keep this alive for as long as he wants, as long as his dad still owns the Jaguars and Liverpool, what other fucking team he owns, and the businesses and all this stuff, because they are still making money everywhere else. Shad Khan ain't losing money every year because he has that shit. This is the fucking footnote for him. This is his son's... My son finally got a hobby. He still hasn't moved out of my fucking house yet, but at least he got a hobby.
It's a toy. It's a toy.
It's a fucking toy.
But
and it's his little playbooker thing where he gets to go in and make 15 match. We fucking got pissed at WWE for 6-hour WrestleManias. 7. That's why they split it into 2 nights. Let it breathe a little bit. We can take a breath. We don't have to watch fucking wrestling for 8 hours straight. With the pre-show, with all their bullshit, for a fucking show that isn't even the biggest show of the year. Fucking psycho. It's not what you do.
And it has to involve people that,
I just closed the ring. I just burned so many fucking calories yelling at you.
Good job.
It's fucking idiot.
People need to care about, right? So I look at this card. This is Forbidden Door.
Who gives a shit about any of this? Who knows half the people on this fucking card?
So, Swerve and Ospreay.
That's the only match.
Is the only notable, true notable match. But damn, if I can't pay $50 for a 1-match card.
Especially when WWE's doing the Peacock thing.
$5 above, right? $5 or $6.
You pay $5-6 a month. You get to watch every single pay-per-view, every single PLE. What the fuck, man?
I'm gonna bring up a name coming up at Rapid Fire that's on this pay-per-view that I am truly disappointed in. Truly disappointed in.
I think I know who you're talking
because this person needs to be a lot better.
I already know who you're talking about.
Than what they are right now. That's a little tease for later on.
Besides that top match.
Look at my side of the card. Do you know any of those names?
I know Zack Sabre Jr. because I watched him in NXT when he competed in the, I think it was the Cruiserweight Classic. That's the only reason why I know Zack Sabre Jr. If you are not a diehard New Japan wrestling fan, you're not going to know half these fucking people.
Now, the only one that...
Or CMLL or whatever it is.
Now, the only one where, there was a decent feud built in. The person was able to appear on television for multiple weeks, and they got something out of it, was the Tony Storm match. So,
but even who the fuck cares? I like Tony's great, but at the same point, I don't.
You got a little bit of that. The thing is, though, you asked the question about the idea of the Forbidden Door. I think when we talk about the Forbidden Door, the concept of Forbidden Door is really just that they're dreams that typically they don't happen, right?
You also don't prostitute the shit out of it. Like Joe Hendry showing up at NXT one time. Big. It got them a rating. It beat the fuck out of AEW because of it. Like, it got them notoriety for it. Is he showing up every week? Are there 15 other TNA superstars that are constantly there? Or going to their pay-per-view on Sunday? No.
Let me ask you this.
No. One or two. It's all you fucking need. Not a whole card full of bullshit.
Let me ask you this. And just follow me here. When's the last time you've been to Cedar Point?
I'm not a big roller coaster guy.
I understand, but when was the last... Cedar Point or Geauga Lake? When was the last time? Geauga Lake here has been open in almost 20 years.
Honestly, Cedar Point was probably like 2012, 2013.
2012, 2013.
I'm not a big...
You're not a roller coaster guy.
I like the water park, but I don't fuck with roller coasters.
What's the most notable ride that you know from Cedar Point?
I hate the Top Thrill Dragster.
But, okay,
I got stuck at the Top Thrill Dragster at the top. I hate that ride.
That's the reason why.
It should be closed forever.
Well...
That ride should be gone forever, Aaron Hernandez. I swear to God. Like, it needs to be gone.
You'll get your wish, don't worry.
Yeah. I'm gonna tear it down.
You'll get your wish. I think the fireworks outside agree. Okay.
Celebration.
What is the most notable ride at Six Flags Magic Mountain? You don't have an answer.
The Snoopy Plunge.
So what if I told you that Cedar Point was going to bring in the top ride, say it's the Superman ride. The top ride.
I think they have a Superman ride.
I think they do. I remember watching a special. Let's say they're bringing in the Superman ride from Six Flags Magic Mountain from California. It's going to be a big addition at Cedar Point here in Sandusky, Ohio. And they're selling this as once in a lifetime crossing over between, Cedar Fair and Six Flags, which, by the way, merged this past week.
It's true. So this may actually happen.
We're going to merge these two concepts together and put the Superman that's from Six Flags Magic Mountain on the Cedar Point. Are you excited? Are you excited for that?
No. And you know what? I think some people would say, like, oh, but the people in New Japan and CMLL are happy to see them get, like, national exposure or whatever it is. I'm sure a lot of those people that are in Japan or in Mexico are like, why the fuck are these people wrestling in America? Why aren't they wrestling in our, like, what's going on? And then half the card for AEW is like, man, it'd be nice to have one of these matches.
Mm-hmm.
Not half the roster get what they deserve with this spotlight. Then us had to sit here like, oh, fucking none of the
title. You want to know the ultimate failure of Forbidden Door? Go back to the invasion angle between WWE and WCW. When where WWE could not get the rights to, we have the WCW roster, but you can't have Goldberg, you can't have Hulk Hogan and the NWO until their contract's up. Scott Steiner's sitting at home until his deal's up.
But the biggest difference is WCW was better than WWE for a little bit. It beat WWE for 83 weeks. What the fuck has New Japan or CMLL done that put them on the level of even AEW at this point?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody watches this shit. The hardcore mark wrestling fans that make up like 1% of viewers watch that. That's it.
But it's for the sickos. That's
what I'm talking about.
It's for the sickos.
Tony Khan is a wrestling nerd who likes this kind of stuff. Dave Meltzer is a wrestling nerd who's never actually been in the wrestling industry. He just talks about it.
But this is the wrestling that he loves.
Yes.
This is the wrestling.
How many 5-star matches that take place on fucking Sunday? Let's find out.
This is the wrestling, right?
Trash.
This is his promotion. You're putting the blame on Tony Khan, which I understand. This ain't Tony Khan's promotion. This is Dave Meltzer's promotion.
No, because you know what?
This is
Tony Khan. His name's on the checks.
His name is on the checks,
and he's booking.
But this isn't his idea.
Well, he's a grown fucking man.
This is not his idea.
It's not working, Tony. You're losing views on social media too. You're not getting hits for anything. No one watches your fucking shows. No one's showing up to your shows. You have to book 15 fucking matches on a card for people to show some sort of interest. You suck at what you do.
But
you're bad.
But
fix it. Because there needs to be competition.
But that's the root of all of this.
Evil.
But Dave looks at these numbers and Dave looks at these pay-per-views and says, "This is great."
Idiot.
I don't know what's happening.
To who?
I don't know. I
There's
don't
not
know.
there if they're making
Maybe
money.
Next year, Dynamite should take off on Juneteenth. Because there's a huge crossover between AEW's audience and Kendrick Lamar's audience.
The black fans in AEW are super excited.
Yeah,
they showed me they're so into it. Yeah, the one guy was great.
Ain't that the truth?
It's stupid.
I am not dismissing the blame from Tony Khan.
They're all to fucking blame.
They're all to blame.
Everyone who has had input in their creative or influences Tony Khan needs to get their shit together.
But I think the greatest influence came from Dave Meltzer. It is still to this day.
It's what Tony does.
It's still to this day. From Dave.
He's an Observer subscriber. They up their subscription to $15 a month. I think Jim Cornette said it best in one of his recent podcasts. You're better off taking that money and wiping your ass with it and flushing it. You'll get more value. Eric Bischoff echoed that shit. Both guys, they can't stand each other. Still fucking hate this idiot. I mean, it's unbelievable. What? So then again, I ask the people that say, "Well, it's not all about TV ratings." What are you judging? Good matches?
That's what Dave does.
It's part of it. You're right. I mean, you need to have good wrestling to be a good company, sure, but they have nothing else. It's just matches. Another guy on TikTok going around like, "Oh, I can't watch WWE anymore because it's not really pro wrestling." What's your definition of pro wrestling? Just actual physical pro wrestling matches? Yes, that is a huge part. You are correct, but it's different parts. Mm-hmm. It is technically a soap opera. Ask the old heads, the guys that were around like the Cornettes 40, 50 years ago doing this shit.
I think
it was about storytelling too. You had to be captivating. Yeah. And if you're not, just because you can do a bunch of cool fucking moves doesn't mean you're going to get views. I.e. AEW. A lot of those guys and girls are super talented. I've never had a problem with the talent there. Neither of us have. We both think they're very talented. It's the guy running the fucking show who's influencing him.
That's why, again, a roster that has Swerve, Ospreay, Danielson. I'll even, Britt Baker's in there.
Listen,
her promo, by the way, was very shaky. By the way, last night
she can't.
Her so they put her in there with Sasha.
Two of the best promos in the business, right?
They put her in there with Sasha.
Yeah.
And
the crowd went mild.
I'll admit I was looking forward to it. I was so let down. It was there.
I wouldn't be.
It was there for Baker. It was there. It was there.
What was Britt Baker's problem? She can never cut a promo.
She can't cut a promo.
So let's put her in the ring and let's have her cut a promo with the other person who also can't cut a promo.
She could cut the promo.
Stupid.
Oh, and by the way, their match will not take place until All In or All Out, either in London or the next week in Chicago. So
they're doing that dumb shit too again.
So they're gonna have 2 months worth of promos.
Well, no, because All In's like the first week of August, or is it the end of August?
And the London pay-per-view is at the end of August.
Okay, so there's time.
And then the Chicago pay-per-view is either a week. I think this year 2 weeks after.
Which again is just dumb. Like
they don't have another pay-per-view.
WWE goes 3 to 4 weeks, and we're like a little close. These guys are stupid. Like it's WWE's walking the line. And again, for people that don't say we don't criticize WWE, there's always things. The problem is they're doing so much well that it's hard to focus on the negatives. The problem with AEW is they're only doing one thing well, Everything else sucks. So it's difficult.
Yeah.
It's so hard. We want them to succeed. We want them to do well. There's a lot of talented guys and girls that work for that promotion.
Oh,
but
and by the way,
they're getting handcuffed by the fucking booker.
And by the way, you rather have this than AEW not be included at all in our rundown, which has happened.
I could manage a week or two without talking about them, but whatever.
Like,
I get it.
If we stop caring about AEW, that's damn near worse because they just won't be included.
It's getting there. Like it's getting there.
Like I'm almost. Maybe I made a mistake. Maybe we should have subbed this segment out for the women's Money in the Bank.
Well, this segment put a bad taste in my mouth. So I want to taste something good. Or at least talk about something that tastes good. Are you okay with that?
I need some kind of candy. I need something.
I think we need B.A. Sweetie now more than ever. Because
please
save us from this shit show that's behind me.
Here's a look at B.A. Sweeties. So as you see there, 30 different flavors made on the premises.
Mm-hmm.
Like made right there. You know, to get a giant lollipops. Interstate 480, the Ridge Road exit. Make a left turn on Brick Park Road. Giant lollipop is right there.
Left-hand side. If you hit Pearl Road, you need to turn back around. Then it's going to be on your right-hand side. But make sure you just hit it the first time.
I'll give you another option. If you're coming in from the east side, you get off on State Road. You could do that. Get off on State Road.
Just
make a right turn on Brook Park Road.
Yeah, just keep going until you see those lollipops turn in. Don't lick the lollipop on the sign.
Don't
actually go into the physical place.
Go inside.
I need to be responsible, and yeah.
You have to go inside. All right, let's get to rapid fire. We'll get to some good stuff here.
So I still want to try and make this 3 words or less. But you...
All right.
For me, at least.
Okay.
Because it's a challenge. And I didn't look at your list. I didn't want to see it.
No, it's fine. So, let's try with this first one here.
Okay.
One of the voices of the Cleveland Browns will be competing in a wrestling match right down the road, Temple Live, on July 13th. In fact, here's what he had to say going into this match.
Jeff Jarrett, members, Jabroni, and as always, you can ignore this Satnam Singh. I am in this ring here at the AEW Academy, getting better, second time today, because I will do everything in my power to be my absolute best at Absolution 17. We're just 12 days away. Yeah, I'm counting. 0-5, that's what you are in title matches. You never get gold. When the light shines bright on you, members, Jabroni, you wither. And guess what? The light has never been brighter. And I'm going to be there, and I'm going to have Josh Bishop, and I'm going to have Filthy Tom Lawler, and I'm going to have Hardway Holloway. And yeah, Last Outlaw, your resume, it speaks for itself. But when you brought my family into this, you made it personal. I am going to hurt you, and I need to beat you. I need it more than you could possibly ever understand. And you're going to find out exactly what that means at Absolution 17. Because I'm in here getting better, and you guys are out there doing what?
Luckily, this event's taking place next week and not close to the football season because I think Nathan might be rumbling and stumbling his way to the football booth next to Jim Donovan. Coming very soon. Look. Nathan is a supporter of pro wrestling. He goes to every WWE show that's here in Cleveland. I'm sure he'll be in attendance for SummerSlam. But he might have a few Band-Aids on him when he goes to SummerSlam. Rapid fire, your thoughts.
You gonna ask me 3 words or less, right?
3 words or less.
Well, first off, before I start that, Nathan, I love you, but my 3 words, I don't care. Sorry, dude. Like, you looked, it didn't look very intimidating. Just because I know you too. I know of you. Like, I know you're not an intimidating guy, so it's hard for me to, the gray beard doesn't help. Color that shit. I don't, I'm sorry.
But he's facing Jeff Jarrett.
I like Jeff Jarrett. Love Jeff Jarrett. I think he's great.
And
but
then,
I love Jeff Jarrett 20 years ago.
And then, like Karen Jarrett is in there, which, man, Kurt Angle blew the bag there. But
his wife's pretty fine, too, but that's beside the point.
I was just saying.
Giovanna is pretty...
I was just saying there.
Yeah. My 3 words, I don't care. I'm sorry. I watch enough fucking wrestling at this point, dude. I can't.
He has buddies.
I can't.
7:30, Saturday, July 13th, at Temple.
Thanks. Don't die, Nathan. There's my other 3 words. Don't die, Nathan. There you go. Jeez.
Oh, man, we try. All right, let's get back to rapid fire here. All right. A lot of weird conversation about the Liv Morgan Dominic Mysterio story. Like, weird. I'll ask you, is the Liv Dominic story too inappropriate for WWE?
You're not really setting this up for me to answer in 3 words or less. You know that, right?
That was the challenge.
My 3 words?
Yes.
All for it. It's great because they're towing the line between, like, okay, they're making sexual innuendos. She's calling him her daddy, all that stuff. Like, she's doing all those things, but she's not over sexualizing it like back in the Attitude Era where she was just getting naked and
even 10 years ago. Like, this is nothing.
Yeah, there's no bra and panties matches happening.
Some
people are upset about that, but whatever. Like, it's like they found a way to modernize this.
Do you know, by the way, that there are a decent number of women who don't like the fact that there are no longer bra and panties matches?
They're practically wearing those when they go out to the ring anyway at this point. You see some of the ring attire, especially in AEW. Toni Storm, listen, love her. She's very attractive, but there's a lot of ass on AEW.
And she says the other word every week in her promo.
Yeah.
And it's allowed on TBS. But I'm just...
Ooh, we can say tits.
But people are like, well, WWE under Vince they're under investigation right now. But I'm like,
doesn't fucking tie in at all.
I'm watching. I'm like, there are no parts to this where you're just like,
he's not manipulating an underage or a woman into doing things. So they're very close in age. Dom's 25. Liv's got to be like, I think Liv's older than Dom.
Yeah.
At that point, she's got to be close to 30 or up near that age, and she's the one chasing him.
Yeah.
So what the fuck? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
People are just saying things because they get offended by bullshit.
Yeah.
Trust me, I know a little bit about that. It is what it is. People are going to have their opinions, whatever. They're going to keep doing it because it's working. They're getting ratings and they're selling merchandise. And yeah, so sorry.
All right.
I'll buy a Liv Morgan daddy shirt before I listen to your bullshit.
Please don't do that.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to wear it.
Don't do that.
I'm going to cut it in half.
No, man.
I'm going to crop top it.
I'd rather you wear a Yankee jersey than do that, man. Don't do that.
No, I actually don't have a Guardians hat. I used to have one and I got rid of it. I don't know what happened to it. So I got to get one at the game. I'm not going to wear the Yankee stuff.
We got some things to discuss after the show. We go to this game.
Yeah.
We got some things.
Whatever.
Man. All right. Are you ready to talk about the women's Money in the Bank match? Okay, here we go.
Is this rapid fire? Because it's not fair.
I'm giving it time.
You're a dick.
You're not.
You're such a dick.
So,
I'm not.
Fans,
Fuck you.
So, some fans in the community have turned on Joey Stark.
Zoe Stark?
Uh-huh.
What do you call her Joey Stark?
Maybe
Zoe.
I'll give her some personality. I don't know.
Wow.
The final straw.
Sexist.
The final straw was her winning the final spot in the women's Money in the Bank qualifying match over Dakota Kai.
She's a young talent that's getting put up. Dakota Kai is taking a back seat because she has
Already
a different
going
story.
over 3 words.
I'm not doing 3 words because fuck you. This is more important.
Why is it not clicking between Stark and the fans? Like, is it really not clicking for some people right now?
I don't know. I mean,
3 words. Next question. I'm kidding. Okay.
well, that's technically true. But, like, no, like, that's the thing with her, like, because she's kind of a tweener right now. She's aligned with Shayna, but she's talking to Sonya Deville backstage. Like, there's something going on, and there's going to be a story that comes from it. But she's also super talented. She has possibly one of the best finishers in pro wrestling. But, again, she lacks a little bit on the talking and storytelling side. So they put her with Trish Stratus for a reason. When she first came up, like there's a lot of talent and potential there.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like Austin Theory right now, right? Where does she fit in that? Can she be a full-fledged bad person? Or heel? Can she flip and be a baby face and be over? I don't know. Like, she's got to find herself a little bit.
She does, but and again, that doesn't mean that she doesn't belong in this match. And again, if we're going with through the loss of Triple H. Commentary hit very hard about Dakota Kai needing to be in this match. And Dakota Kai not getting the job done. And, you know,
they're going to break up Damage Control.
If you want that baby face, which kind of doesn't make much sense, but if you want that baby face turn with Dakota, you want something to happen with Dakota, keep watching. There are things happening. That's the beauty of the Triple H WWE is what made the Attitude Era so great. Every character on the show, everyone has some kind of a story. Everybody. So that ties into the Money in the Bank women's match. So who do you got in this match?
For all the time I called you a sexist, I actually don't know who's in the match. I have to look. A graphic would have helped.
It was rapid fire. We ain't got that.
So what? It's Zoe Stark. It's
TikTok girl.
Tiffany Stratton. I should know that.
Tiffany Times in it too.
We follow her on TikTok, so that's probably why I see it. Who else is in there?
Chelsea Green.
Okay.
Io Sky.
Won last year.
And Naomi.
Who's the 6th?
TikTok girl. Fake social media profile. Who we almost booked.
Oh yeah.
Show.
Fuck you, man. Lyra,
yes.
Yeah. So I'm done picking Lyra for things because I don't think it's going to work. But she did start. They're going to have that feud, that side feud, Damage Control, and it's going to be her and the 2 party girls or whatever it is on Raw. So that's fun.
I can't wait for it.
It's really between 2 people. Tiffany Stratton and Chelsea Green.
Yeah.
I could see them pulling the trigger on Chelsea.
She would make it interesting.
She's a good fucking worker too.
She actually is.
She actually's a really good wrestler.
I'm not even joking about that. Like, she actually could go.
They've kind of put her in a corner as far as her personality and that stuff, and she kind of acts like but she's actually like really fucking good at this pro wrestling thing, the wrestling side too.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of hoping this opens a door for that at some point. But you see some of her work in other places, and it's like, man, what the fuck are they doing? So I think it's going to come down to those 2. Tiffany Stratton might win because she might get help from Nia Jax. That could be a big thing.
They could. Well, they could.
So,
but Chelsea has that story currently, right?
No, Tiffany.
Oh, Tiffany. That's
Tiffany
right.
does.
Tiffany. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
Shocker, he doesn't know what the fuck's going
You're
on
right.
because it's women.
Yeah.
Double A hates women. In case you forgot, just gonna keep reminding you that every week.
I like Trish.
She's not there anymore. We'll talk to Lita at WrestleCon.
I like Becky.
Think I can get Lita's number?
I would hope so. That would be great.
Hey man, shoot for the stars, land on the moon. I'm cool with it.
Hey Lita, what do you think about Braun Strowman?
I hate that Double A guy. He fucking sucks. Goes over there talking shit.
What? What?
No, seriously, I can't hear you. What's going on?
What? I think the women's Money in the Bank match will. I think. Look, you have women in there that are hungry to win, to put on a good performance, and show out. So we'll see what happens. Dark horse, I believe, is Io Sky.
I hope not.
But
she doesn't need it. They have a great opportunity with 2 or 3 of them to kind of put them in the next step. Be it obviously Chelsea, be Tiffany, or even Lyra at that point. There's a lot better options, and Io's already got her own story to deal with Damage Control falling apart.
Could be.
So
could be.
I wouldn't do it again.
All right, true or false question for you. Finn Balor will cost Damian Priest the World Championship. True or false?
Or
Ooh,
didn't see that one coming, did you?
I did not.
False. Damian Priest is going to lose because CM Punk's going to get involved when Drew cashes in. And that's how Seth wins. So CM Punk is going to help Seth Rollins win the title. There's a reason for that.
Yeah.
You can kind of put 2 and 2 together here.
Well,
yeah. Now, Punk,
that will be in the rundown.
for the love
for
of
next
Christ,
week.
please stay healthy.
That will be in the rundown for next week.
Give me like 2 years of healthy Punk in WWE, and I'm good. Like, that's all I need.
All right, and then my final question, I guess, is a note to myself. I know our next Let's Fix It.
It was supposed to be Austin Theory.
It's supposed to be Austin Theory. I think we should bump that to August because I am thoroughly disappointed in one member of the Shield that was supposed to really be a game changer in AEW.
He was for the first year.
And he was. But since 2022, all he's been doing is fucking around and not doing anything of sorts that's made any lick of sense.
Yeah.
And that's Jon Moxley.
You don't want to know what my steps would be for him.
John,
pretty simple. Jon
Moxley right now, I put part blame on him and obviously a chunk on Tony and Dave. But I put parts on him. Are you a heel or are you a babyface?
Or are you a plumber?
Are you a plumber? This black bulletproof club thing, what does that mean?
Blackpool Combat Club?
Who are you? Yeah, who are you? Are you a babyface or are you a heel? What is your purpose at AEW?
This is like most people on AEW's roster, too, by the way. These are all questions that fit everybody.
Are you trying to achieve a world championship? Oh, no, not the IWGP championship, but the AEW world championship. You know, the place you work for. the place where you belong. It's like you're trying to get a promotion at a different job. No, you have one job, and your goal is to be the best at that job. I don't work in my current day job and look for a promotion at Kmart. I need something in place.
It's because Kmart doesn't exist
anymore. Exactly.
Gone forever.
Gone forever. And so's the Blue Light Special, known as Jon Moxley. Like, what are you doing?
I think, okay, so...
Are you in a world where everything is going on in AEW, and then you're just the arcade mode of AEW?
Stop. I need you to save this. I need you to save this for the Let's Fix It, because we're going to switch things up. I've kind of given double A bullet points, the 5 things I would do. This one, we're going to bump Austin in the next month. We're going to put John this month, Jon Moxley, and he's going to lead it. Because I did not know he was this passionate about it, and I want him to bottle that shit up because I want you to let loose. I want a double A Netflix special on the next Let's Fix It because I want you to lay the fuck in on this Jon Moxley situation because I did not know how passionate you were about this.
I'm just amazed. Oh, that's fine. I'm just amazed that you have somebody who is, and I was so excited. You know, when Jon Moxley, when I watched his old independent tapes coming into WWE.
You got excited about that? All the deathmatch bullshit he was doing?
But the promos, the style, the promos that he was cutting, I'm like, this is different, right? In the cookie cutter world of WWE.
He's in a dark room and he's talking loudly.
But it was different. 10 years ago, Kyle would have not made that joke. This is how you are not taken seriously. Because 10 years ago, nobody jokes about that. nobody jokes about the Jon Moxley character. And then, okay, you go to WWE, become Dean Ambrose, and everyone's saying, man, it would be great if Vince McMahon did not influence this character. And for the first 2 years of AEW, you were great.
Yeah.
You were the backbone of what AEW then needed. What happened? So on our next Let's Fix It series, we're going to fix the biggest disappointment to come out of the Shield. And with that, the show's over. Go to BA Sweeties. Check them out.
Oh, boy.
480 Ridge Road exit. Make a left, Brook Park Road. There's the address. Giant Lollipop. Check them out. Check them out this weekend. I know a lot of you got extra time off this weekend, so check them out.
Yeah.
Check them out. Get the putt in tomorrow.
You might actually run into one of us. Say hi. Tell them that we sent you too while you're at it. Screw it.
Yeah. You definitely
Don't tell them that I told you to lick the lollipop on the front entrance, but tell them that we told you to go and yeah.
And also remember Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. early bird special. This is all year long, by the way. Early bird special on putt.
Yeah.
So you go 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. You have extra time off, or heck, even if you work second shift or third shift, you want to get some putt in, check them out. Early bird special, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Monday through Friday. That's year round for that. So we got that going on. You guys enjoy the 4th of July holiday weekend. And Money in the Bank, thankfully, WWE is back to a Saturday night pay-per-view for the first time in a few months. So that's going to be great. We're going to watch it. And we can't wait to see. Huh?
Wasn't everything else was on a Saturday?
Saturday afternoons.
Oh, you talk about night even.
Because of the international stuff.
Yeah.
So
fucking time zones.
So I guess technically it will still be international. They're in Toronto. So, yeah.
I mean, Canada's practically America. Except for the healthcare. Am I right?
Pete, thoughts?
Not a fan. He likes maple syrup, though. So.
Tune in next week where we talk about a couple presidential candidates. One who may not be on. Anywho, good night.
Don't get me started.
Good. I told y'all should have went with my idea for WrestleMania.
It puts the lotion on the basket.
Y'all should have went with my idea. Would have had the carrier go right down,
I'm looking forward to the next presidential race when a carrier pigeon takes on a house cat. It's going to be fantastic.
Would have floated down to the ring.
Both have more charisma than the two currently running.
Well, one has... Never mind.
It's pronounced charisma.
You want to talk about...
I'd rather not. I'd rather fucking not.
You want to talk about two people who will actually be interested? Never mind. I'm not lumping them into this. Good night. Cut the tape. We're done.